You ready?
I'm ready.
I'm not used to hosting these ones. Welcome back to Raw is Retro. I am your host, Lord Manny Hayes. What you're missing is the big Ross man. He's temporarily away on assignment. He's not on assignment. He's just got shit to take care of.
Assignment, which is always a good sign. You'd be like, oh no. But now I would like to say we are off the rails for the Retro Show. If you are used to a regular 20-minute episode of Retro, stand back. It may go a little longer. It may go a little louder because we have no self-control. I think that's what it is. That's what's coming.
Yeah, Ross is the one that stirs the pot, that keeps it just going, keeps the ship moving, steers the ship. We don't do this.
Yeah, if we were on the ship, we're just the drunkards around the captain. Take a drink. Come on. We just need to keep going. No.
So so we're joined today by Marcus the Grand Finale, who's stepping in for Ross for the next 3 episodes. Maybe longer, just depends on the big Ross man and what he's dealing with.
I heard there's drama in the back. That's what's really going on. I heard there's drama in the back. I think Ross is sick of dealing with these fucking children and stuff like this. That's pretty much
it. So let's kick off with this episode of Raw. It's September 14th, 1998, coming from the San Jose Arena, where Stone Cold meets Vince McMahon in the ring with his boys, his protection, his master plan, Kane and The Undertaker.
Yeah. Everybody wait in the ring, right?
His grand plan of Kane, you can't pin The Undertaker. Undertaker, you cannot pin Kane. So at Breakdown, Vince McMahon's master plan is a triple threat match with all these 3 individuals, but 2 people can't pin each other.
It's nothing better. Why don't he just strip him on the title? I'm sure there's something. Make Austin fail a drug test or say he wasn't sober at work. You can make him anything to come up with these elaborate schemes to get the title off Austin. Like, this is like, you can't pin him. You can't pin him. So you guys have to pin Steve Austin and basically have to kill him.
So this is obviously also coming off last week, where Vince McMahon called Kane and The Undertaker to open Raw two putrid pussies because they couldn't get the job done. Couldn't get the job done, I think, at SummerSlam. And this led to a night of carnage.
Every night leads to a night of carnage. Every night.
No, but this was a night of complete DQs.
So, you talking about last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after this, Steve Austin's pissed. Undertaker walks up the ramp. He tells Steve Austin, it's not personal, Steve. It's just business.
Business. But I don't understand how the Undertaker can say that. Like, why did he feel like he had to be the mediator right here? Hey, I need this title shot. I don't know why Undertaker sees the gold belt so bad anyway. Or he's like, it's just business, man. It's just business. I gotta do it. I don't like it, but I gotta do it.
But Vince McMahon wasn't done there.
No.
He wraps up the segment by telling Stone Cold Steve Austin that he's defending the WWF title against Ken Shamrock.
I feel like this card was stacked for no reason. This whole show became stacked all of a sudden.
Yeah,
like, we get a world title match tonight too. Why?
But we later on in the night that on Sunday Night Heat, I was about to call it Shotgun Saturday Night. Sunday Night Heat. Ken Shamrock called out Steve Austin.
Yeah. Any place, anytime, Austin. Any place, anytime. And I'm like, okay, I guess that happened. And it may have clarified some of this. But this man's master plan. What if Ken Shamrock would have won the title? Does Ken Shamrock go into the match at Breakdown and Kane and Undertaker can only pin Ken Shamrock?
No. Surely that would turn into the regular triple threat, because at that point Vince has already accomplished his master plan of taking the title away from Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What a plan!
So we go into our first match of the night. It's Jeff Jarrett with Southern Justice versus the Road Dogg with X-Pac and Billy Gunn. And they already played up the history between these two men, and the Road Dogg was the roadie for Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, when they brought the history, I was like, I feel like they've gotten to the ring before and they just stopped bringing up the history. But now that Jeff Jarrett has his new haircut and Southern Justice on his back, no more Tennessee Lee. This time is personal.
Yeah. So the match was going all right. Billy Gunn hits I can't remember his name.
Jeez.
One of the Southern Justice with the guitar, which leaves the guitar in pretty mangled shape. Which Jeff Jarrett decides, I'm just still going to use this and just go for Road Dogg's throat.
I'm going to take the Road Dogg out. And the one place I know that I had to, this was some revenge shit. They had to bring it up. Baby Tonight was Jeff Jarrett's. He just didn't want to sing that one night, and you know it. That's why he was caught lip syncing and all that. It's bullshit that man's made a career off that. So I'm taking out the throat. I'm going for the juggler, as Vince would say. The juggler. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although people are psychopaths coming up with ways to attack people. Like, I feel like if you thought of a way to, like, I'm going to use the guitar handle and go for someone's throat, I feel like at that point you need to be in jail and committed, because that's psychopath stuff. I would never thought about that.
So the Road Dogg has been taken away in an ambulance. He's having trachea problems. Can't seem to breathe well. So Slaughter's trying to find out if Road Dogg's all right, but then Billy Gunn tells him to get away. Go away.
Get away. Get away. You don't care. Get away. Billy Gunn's really upset about this. This is bullshit.
Which moves into our next match, which was Kane with The Undertaker versus The Rock, which The Rock last week vowed to take out Kane after the nonsense of being called after the night of many DQs, where Kane and The Undertaker decided to strike The Rock.
Yeah. So me coming into this going like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
The Rock is a good guy. I think The Rock turned face at some point in the middle of me not watching and trying to catch up to this.
Yeah, right? But they're still in the nation. They're still in the nation. And
he came up with the plan. He was like coaching them on the plan, and I didn't understand his plan. You go around here, you go around here. And then Owen Hart's like, you know what? Those are your problems, Rock. That's not ours.
So the match was okay. But Mankind returns after being hit in the face with a sledgehammer at SummerSlam, and you could still see the remnants of that shot to his face. But he decides to return with a sledgehammer, and I don't know why every time someone swings something in this era that they just decide to refer to it as his best impression of Mark McGuire.
Well, Manny, for you not being a baseball fan, it was huge. The summer of McGuire and Sosa, it was huge in the 90s. Every sexual thing in the 90s involved Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton. They were the only two people fucking, apparently, because that's the only reference you can make. And every home run or swing and a hit has to be baseball. It has to be. Yeah. This was baseball was at its hottest. Now, it's calmed down just like wrestling. But this was baseball and wrestling at their hottest. Of course, they were going to reference each other.
So Kane refuses help from The Undertaker. It takes him about 3 to 4 times to sit up. Undertaker grabs a mic and tells Mankind, we're doing this tonight, and you bring the sledgehammer.
The feud between Mankind and Undertaker never ends. It just never ends. It's like Shamrock and The Rock.
Yeah, but at least there's breaks in that. There's breaks in that. It allows you time to cool down. Ken Shamrock and The Rock has never had a cool down period.
it's just beat down on sight, no matter what.
So we learn Mankind accepts Undertaker's challenge. Dustin Runnels is in the ring complaining about immorality in the WWF. He lets Val Venus know when he returns. I wonder who he is talking about. Val Venus will repent. And then Val decides to show him his latest video called The Preacher's Wife.
Val ain't shit. You know what? If Val was shot dead that night, I would be like, yep, he had that shit coming. Yeah, and Terry too. Honestly, if this was the situation between O.J. Simpson, Nicole Brown Simpson, and all that shit going on, I'd be like, O.J. was justified. O.J. was justified in going out because this was too much.
And then we get the first ever video package for Steven Regal. He's a man's man. Yeah, that was the first one because there wasn't one last week or the week before. But he had already debuted. He'd already debuted randomly in a segment a few months ago, which me and Ross both broke down as like this was weird because he just showed up. No announcement, nothing. Like, oh, he's coming. Who is this? Nothing.
Yeah. It was like, oh, we have a all right, let's throw him out there. And then it was like, we never did anything to introduce this character. Oh, okay. Let's go. Let's retro fix this. Let's fix this. But these video packages are amazing and they make no sense. Why?
But I miss video packages like this where they had a ridiculous character.
You mean a job, Manny? You mean a job?
Yes, a job.
That's what the video packages were. They had a job. Oh, this place has a job. They're not just a wrestler. They do construction and they chop down trees and shit. So that's what he also does. Oh, so he just moonlighting as a wrestler. Yes, yes. Part-time.
So we get a title match tonight, which is the Intercontinental title with Triple H as champion versus Owen Hart. I don't actually remember what happened in this match.
You know, me too. I remember China being ringside, Mark Henry coming out, right? Or is this a different segment?
No, so for the last 3 weeks, right? Yeah, for the last 3 weeks, it's been China and Mark Henry. So it's all blurred into one.
It's a scary Dominic Rhea Ripley situation, in which I don't think neither one of them are. They would both kill you at a drop of a dime at this point. But she laid out Mark Henry, which distracted Owen, I think, and Triple H got the pin. I think that's how it ended.
Yeah, and then Henry leaves with Owen up the ramp while Triple H tries to get a woman or a dude, I'm not sure, to take his or her top off.
Yeah, he was doing that to start the match, and then he's like, "Oh, let me go back to this. Let me go back to see. I want to see some titties tonight. I want to see some titties," which makes him the worst.
But then Mark Henry gets up, finds a mic from the ramp somehow, and then yells at X-Pac. He challenges X-Pac and his girlfriend, China, to a handicap match.
Yes.
Because Mark, why do we need this, Mark Henry? Why?
Why do you want this revenge? You know what? To prove he's the baddest or strongest or whatever. I don't know. Because nothing else was booked on this show. Everything is makeshift. By the way, at the beginning of this segment, I don't know how much you pay attention to signs, but I'm obsessed with the signs of the 90s.
There's too many. There's too many to pay attention to. There's too many, like, that shouldn't be allowed today. But it's just like, oh.
Well, yeah, this one sign stood in particular because I went, okay. But it was my sign of the night, Manny, for this episode. It was the we're white sign. And I go, oh, okay. What does that have to do with anything?
I didn't expect that from San Jose. If I'm honest.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, San Jose. Sacramento, maybe. San Jose, shame on you.
So this is something I need to see more often in today's wrestling. I don't like for a given when you're about to have a gimmick match that everything's just under the ring. Before we go into the Undertaker versus Mankind in an ODQ match, we see Mankind in the back loading up a dumpster with weapons to take to the ring.
And this is
which he's singing. He's singing a hi ho off to work I go at the same time.
Which I was like, justified, reason for weaponry. But this is how I imagine Batman gets together before he goes out tonight in Gotham City. What weapons do I need to bring out here? Type of scud.
Yeah, but I feel like if it's a Batman, it's a little bit more like civilized. It's not like I'm bringing a 2x4 with a nail sticking out of it.
Yeah, Manny, you failed to justify Batman's sanity. I'm sure he's considered to nail a 2x4. I'm like, Alfred's going a little much, Mr. Wayne. Yeah, you're right. Nail and fucking baseball bat or 2x4 or whatever.
Well, see, I can't keep forgetting his name. From the Nolan ones, with his guy.
Christian Bale.
Not Christian Bale. His weapons expert or his technology expert.
Oh, Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. That's the guy. I forgot. Completely blanked on his name.
How do you blank Morgan Freeman? Lucius Fox.
He had various trial and error of all these things. He was ordering things from China and everything. So I believe the Batman has high quality versions of weaponry, whereas I don't think Mankind has the same funds.
Well, considering when you put it to that aspect, yes, Mankind and Batman does not have the same budget. But I would like to also think that Lucius Fox started to skip on some of the gadgets. I would say he would probably order some and be like, yeah, Wayne's going to debt because of you trying to save the world or just save this one city. I think we need to do some cost cutting. I'm going to start ordering some weapons off Wish. I'm just going to say that and start doing it.
So the match itself is the typical Undertaker Mankind match. Yeah. It was fine. But then weirdly, The Rock jumps out of a dumpster.
How did he know? How did he know that Undertaker was like, I'm going for Sledgehammer? How could he have known at that very moment? Unless someone told him. He's like,
and then saves the day. He saves the day. I just don't. Why, Rock? Why, Rocky? Why?
Him jumping on the trash can though at a random moment. I'm like, ha ha! Before he's already dead. Oh shit! I'm late.
So Taker and Kane abandon the match and go looking for The Rock, leading in a no contest.
Yes. The Rock saved the day. So this is where I was confused. Like, he's a babyface now. He's completely, once you make saves out of dumpsters, you become Jungle Boy at this point. I feel like he was Rey Mysterio. Booyaka,
booyaka. So we get Gangrel versus Edge. He gives Edge an Impaler DDT on the floor, which leads to a double count out as Gangrel grabs his blood. And he doesn't really give him a blood bath like we used to. He just kind of it goes everywhere.
It spits in his face, and it's like, damn.
It wasn't necessarily spits in his face. It's like when you've been to the dentist and you can't control your lips and your tongue anymore, so you can't grip your lip, you can't grip the cup anymore. You don't know where it is. Everything just.
Yeah. I can imagine Gangrel went to go into the dentist and he's like, "No, fuck up my teeth now. No, fuck about no. This is what I need. This is my money right here." But Edge dives over the top rope and just falls straight to the ground. I go, "Oh, is that the way you were wrestling back then, Edge?"
We do know you, Edge. Do you think we know you? I know you.
Yeah, we know you now. We know you well. I wish I could hit Matt Hardy.
China and X-Pac versus Mark Henry. Surprisingly, a really good match for what it was. The way he power slammed China from the middle, when she jumped and he caught her from the middle rope and power slammed her, incredible.
Yes. I went, oh, it's the middle of the night. I went, he got her ass. I can't believe he did that. And, I think DX was really upset about him doing that. But she jumped on him. It was self-defense. She was part of the match. China looked more impressive than X-Pac in the match, though. I thought her hits were more realistic.
I've never been a fan of X-Pac. I've never been a fan of... I'm telling Ross, I've just never liked him.
I think he has a lot of energy. That's what I would say about X-Pac. He has a lot of energy, and I think he was born in the wrong era of wrestling.
So we got
now he'll be okay. Be like, oh, you know what? X-Pac's all right. But then you're like, he was born in this era.
Yeah. So we get a Raw Rewind where we get highlights of Harvey Whippleman and Howard Finkel in a tuxedo match, which leads us kindly into what probably going to be the thumbnail today. The evening gown match between Sable and Jackie.
You mean the match where I like to call Jackie's titties are everywhere? Just
yeah.
Like I was like, did she not wear underwear for this, or what? Why are we doing this? How did they get away with this? In 1990 on national cable television or whatever, how are they able to just have her titties just flying all over the place?
TV 14. Yeah, Sable pretty much gives her a Sable bomb, and this is pretty much over.
You know what? It wasn't that bad of a match.
I don't think you can necessarily call this a match.
Oh no, wait! This is the wrong match. No, this is not this one. I've seen worse.
And then Michael Cole speaks to Ken Shamrock before the title match. He said he means Stone Cold no disrespect, but Shamrock is the calm before the storm.
Oh,
whatever that means, Ken.
Yeah.
You've been taking clearly too many chair shots to the head.
Yeah. And that's why you hate Mick Foley.
So I think this is Austin's first match since SummerSlam. And it wasn't really necessarily a good one.
Well, I didn't have any problems with it. It was like, it's the longest match I've seen since going back and doing these retros of Austin in the ring. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is what they were like. This
may be the longest main event we've had so far. And we're coming towards the end of the year where this match is down to be 12 minutes. But it's a double KO. Because who's coming down the ramp? It's Undertaker and Kane.
They're always coming down the ramp. That's the arrow in. Guess who's coming down? Oh, it's the Undertaker. It's Kane.
But who comes to save the day? It's The Rock and Mankind. Before it was The Rock and Sock Connection.
Yes. Well, this was the beginning of it, right? Like him saving about the dumpster, and then this right here, them kind of working together to fight Undertaker and Kane to help Austin. And then, you got little teasers here and there where he's always seemed to be helping Mankind in situations where Mankind's getting his ass whooped.
So,
it's beginning.
So this, as everyone's brawling, Steve Austin is stalking Vince McMahon towards the back of the locker room. And that's how the show goes off the air. What did you? I'm not going to ask you what you think of the show. It was a decent episode of Raw for a change. It was stacked.
For me, jumping back in, I was like, wow, this show, it's so many stars on this show of the future or that current state of wrestling. You go like, man, this is intense. And I imagine when I go back to years later and if we ever get to the 2000s and stuff, I may have the same feeling of like, damn, this show was stacked. But when you watch it at the time, you just be like, let's take this casually. But no, Mick Foley, The Rock, Undertaker, all fighting in the main events and shit. It's like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah. Ross isn't here, but MVP. No, match of the night first. Match of the night.
I'm going to go with the Mark Henry China match or the handicap match just because of the slam. I feel like that was it. I'm not going to give the Road Dogg and Jeff Jarrett. I mean, it was like the only one to have a finish on the show, to be honest.
Yeah. For me, I'm also gonna give it for the power slam. You just don't see that very often. Men actually attacking women.
Yeah, he's
doing moves
like
to
a
women.
fucking man. Like he slammed her like a man. Like I was like, oh, I hope she's okay. Damn.
And then MVP of the night.
I'm gonna say MVP of the night. I'm gonna give it to The Rock for just making all the saves. Pretty much jumping out of a dumpster. I think it's the last time you see The Rock come out of a dumpster.
That's why he's my MVP. Jumping out of a dumpster.
Unless he has a new movie coming out, you won't see Rock covered in that much trash.
So someone alluded in the comments a couple of weeks ago, before SummerSlam, there was a casket that was wheeled out to the ring. And then Steve Austin jumps out the casket to attack, I think, The Undertaker and Vince McMahon. At the same, about minutes later, Kane comes out from the exact same casket. Which doesn't make any sense.
No, it's magic powers, Manny. His magic power. But why would you, if you can teleport anywhere, why go? Shit, I'm in this casket too. It smells like beer. And apparently corn nuts.
So that is the end of this week's episode of Raw is Retro. We've managed to get it under 25 minutes.
Wow, we did it. We did it.
Grown
ups now. I'm gonna pull up my pull-up saying go to the bathroom myself.
So make sure you follow all the stuff above Marcus's head. If you want to email the show, obviously email them what's below Marcus. And help us on the quest to 400 subscribers.
The quest to get to the Goblet of Fire, I guess. I think that's what the goal is. We're going to go pull our names out of the fire and you'd be like, oh, it's Manny and Marcus. Yeah. And as soon as they say my name's in that tournament, I will again start smoking, apparently, and go, nah, son, not me.
I foreshadowed what this is happening, and I don't want any part of it. So it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from him.